Hey everybody, this week on Up Your Alley, we've got two great recommendations. First, Jake recommended for me that I listen to the 2007 album The Reminder from singer-songwriter Feist, and I made Jake watch the new Jason Reitman film Saturday Night about the opening night of Saturday Night Live. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a couple movie trailers that we watched. We're going to get an Oblivion update, and I'm going to get angry at a company and explain to Jake why, in my own words, I am not crazy and I'm right and he just needs to be supportive. Right, Jake?
What else has Jason Reitman done?
School of Rock.
Ghostbusters.
New Ghostbusters.
Okay,
Let's do the theme song first. That theme song never gets old. How you doing, buddy?
Doing very well, thank you.
Welcome, everybody, to Up Your Alley. My name is Taylor Edgar, and with me, as always, is my best friend, Jake Baggett. Say hi, Jake.
Hey.
It's a show where we recommend things to each other, and we come back the next week to talk about them and rate them on a scale of 1 to 3 based on how much it's up our individual alleys. This week, again, we're talking about the album The Reminder from Feist, and we're talking about... I'm looking at Jason Reitman's filmography. I was wrong. I was confusing him with someone else.
Oh, yeah?
He did Juno was his first big thing. And also Thank You for Smoking, which is my favorite. I love Thank You for Smoking.
Yeah, that was a really good movie.
It was one of the best.
I was wrong.
Good Aaron Eckhart. Good Rob Lowe. Yeah, but he did do the new Ghostbusters. You were correct about that.
Sick.
So, how you been? Everything good?
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Do all that good algorithm stuff. And we're talking about Saturday night as well.
I'm doing great, brother.
I think we'll talk about Saturday night first because I have a very specific reason that I recommended that for you.
You want to get into it right now?
No. I want to talk about other stuff first, but I'm just saying that I'm
dying to get into it.
It's not so much, this is what we call it sizzle for later. It's not so much that I thought you would like it. It's more that I was really curious as to how you feel about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm very curious. It's a curious show. I'm curious why you recommended that I listen to the album by
Reminder?
Feist from almost 20 years ago now.
Because it's a great album.
It is, but your album picks are always like out of left field. It's not like, like I had you listen to like a new Rolling Stones record.
Yeah.
And you're just like, you want to listen to De La Soul from 1993?
Not their first album.
Yeah, their second De La Soul album. Oblivion. I downloaded it when we left this last week.
Yes, you did.
Back in all Affleck April.
Yes, you did.
It is May now.
How many hours have you put into it?
More than I would think I should have.
Yeah.
I'm probably about 20 hours in.
There you go. I saw you play a little bit. You were around level 14, 15.
13, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
That's around 14, 15.
Yeah.
I'm a little cat, which is in honor of the new cat that I got.
Khajiit. It's funny because you were just talking about how everybody prejudices you in the game, calling you a house cat, and you're like, hey, stop that. I'm a cat. Instead of getting your own race name right.
So here's a little bit of accidental Elder Scrolls racism that I was trying to be conscious about it. So I'm in the, I guess spoilers for this game, but there's like 1 billion missions. So I guess if you spoil one of them, it's not a big deal. So I'm working for the Assassin's Guild, the Dark Brotherhood.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, you have to go into the capital and you have to find this elf, this high elf. And they're like, you can't find him. He just walks around. You got to look for him. And it's a big capital city as far as games go. So like, we don't know where he's going to be. We don't know where he is. You just got to find him. And I'm walking around and I'm looking for this elf and I can't find this elf anywhere. I'm looking up, like walking up. Everyone's like a guard or just like a dude or a lion man or a dragon man. And I'm like, I can't find
Argonian.
Right. Lion man, dragon man.
And then people have the
well, I'm assuming not everyone that listens,
call me
not everyone who
a house cat.
Not everyone who listens to this knows. Elder Scrolls, it's the weirdest fantasy universe I think I've had because it really,
that's not true.
I think it's a potluck of fantasy. Like it does high fantasy, like your Tolkien style, with your elves and your orcs and things like that. Your goblins,
yeah.
But then there's also vampires, werewolves, minotaurs are in this one.
Yeah, minotaur.
And then there's just
I think it's just minotaur when you pluralize it.
Is it like deer?
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I think so.
Like demons and a literal hell universe as well. So it's like
you have 9 gods, 8 plus 1.
Right.
But you never see them. But
right.
you see Daedra, they're demons all the time.
And I'm just saying, it's an amalgam universe of like all these different fantasy genres.
Just Lord of the Rings style stuff.
There's no vampires.
There could be. If somebody showed up and he was like, my name is Tom Bomba Thrill, and I'm a vampire.
That's what he does?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, and I won't drink that blood. You'll be like, yeah.
He does a little dance.
Yeah.
But they're like straight up vampires, and like they're straight up werewolves, like modern day werewolves where it's like, oh yeah, silver hurts them.
Yeah. Silver hurts the undead as well.
Right. Oh, I hate you mentioned that. There's ghosts, and I didn't have anything that I could hurt Ghost with, and I got really bummed out about that.
Yeah.
So this ghost started chasing me around this.
I gave him the hint before he even started.
No.
Got to get some silver on you.
And this ghost
got to
just
run into a
was-
ghost, and you got to get upset real quick.
Ghost just chased me around like the worst Pac-Man ever. And I was just like, leave me alone, Ghost. But anyway, so I'm walking around trying to find this high elf. And I'm like, all right, can't find him anywhere. And I see a dark elf. And I'm like, I bet he'd know where he is. And I'm like, no, Taylor, that's mean to think that the elf, not all the elves know each other. And then I went and did a dialogue thing with the elf. And like one of the options was like, this guy? And I'm like, oh, I guess he does know where this guy is. And it was immediately just like, yeah, I hate that guy. He's always at this hotel. Go over there. And I'm like, oh, good. My little prejudice about all elves knowing each other kind of worked out in my favor. But it's a fun game. So
it's great.
Like I said, Skyrim was my first foray into this when it came out years ago.
And where Morrowind was my first one, Oblivion's the one that I spent the most time in.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
I've definitely put over 100 hours into Skyrim. I would say games across platforms like that, the only game that's probably touched the amount of time I put into Skyrim across different platforms is Red Dead Redemption 2.
Stardew Valley.
Well, fuck yeah. I mean, open world
I'm
games.
opening you up, buddy.
Open world games.
I'm getting you games, buddy.
Stardew Valley is high up there, but I'm just...
Games journalism is dying all over us. It's up to me to make sure that you play the good games now.
And for some reason, Microsoft was just like, hey, Xboxes are going to cost $100 more now.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
You guys want to switch too? Or do you want a more expensive Xbox?
Has that ever happened mid-generation where it's just like, hey, it's just going to be more expensive?
Not once.
Yeah.
Not once. And it makes sense
if people
because
don't know,
of the horror.
I think it's effective today. Microsoft
don't
was
know,
just
but-
like...
No, I think they said holiday season is when it comes
No, I
out.
think it's effective
Yeah?
like now.
Okay.
And they were just like, hey, so the Xbox is going to be, I think, across games are going to be more expensive, controllers are going to be more expensive, everything's more expensive, but it's like your mid-level Xbox Series X is $100 more.
Yeah.
With the 1 terabyte thing. And
Rough.
I would think, hey, are they getting, is it new? Is it better? They're like, no, it's the same one. It just costs $100 more now.
Yeah.
Which is, I've never heard of a video game manufacturer doing
I would
this.
say they should say the reason why.
Which
But they
is,
don't. Which is the horrible climate that we are in, and I ain't talking weather.
it may or may not rhyme with sheriffs, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's autumn.
That's autumn.
That's odd. Odd of them.
Yeah, there you go.
But so Oblivion does things differently than Skyrim in a way that I like. I showed Jake beforehand. There's a quick wheel, which is very Red Dead Redemption, very Grand Theft Auto. You hold L1 and you get all your quick fire stuff there.
Yep.
Love it.
Customizable.
Skyrim had just a little thing on the side where you can set certain things up, and it was still a pain in the
Quick
ass.
list that was up and down. And you did it.
Not as good.
Yeah.
No
Crafting.
no smithing.
Smithing. Was,
Which I like doing. And no, I can't go 2 swords.
Nope. Can't go 2 swords.
Can't go 2 swords.
Sword and board it, buddy.
But does have sword and automatically have 1 spell set as well.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like a default
You can do a spell.
sword.
Yeah.
So you have your sword, and then you just like, oh, I can also do restoration whenever I need to. I don't need to dedicate a hand to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of a wash for me for combat. The game is gorgeous. It's in Unreal 5. I'm definitely having fun with it. I'm enjoying just kind of, fucking off in the world and
one
walking
of
around.
my favorite things to just go around.
Yeah.
Just leave.
In the world, or no, in the game, like if I was walking across, so this takes place in Cyrodiil, which is the imperial capital of Tamriel, the world that this exists in. I would say the analog in Lord of the Rings is this is Gondor, essentially.
Okay.
It's like where the men live.
Yeah.
And Skyrim is up in Skyrim. If I was to walk across Skyrim in Skyrim, the game, not in fictional world, and then walk across Cyrodiil, is this map bigger than Skyrim's map?
No, I don't think so. I think Skyrim's bigger.
That's what it felt bigger, but then I was looking on like Reddit, and they're like, no. Technically, Cyrodiil is a bigger map than Skyrim was. But Skyrim also had like a subworld, like that was the whole map.
This one's got a subworld.
Does it?
It's called The Oblivion Gates.
Oh, hell. Yeah. That's kind of cool that those just open
Hell
up and you
indeed.
gotta go there. It's very Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
They're
like
very
it.
pretty. I love it. I think it's a great game.
I think it's fun.
It's very fun.
And something I mentioned to you as well, I think there are things that I think are janky, but I think it's a love letter to the original game that was janky. And I did find...
I think it's just a nod.
It's a good remaster.
In a right direction.
One thing that people are saying is...
Todd Howard saying, hey, like, we get why this game was fun, you know? So let me show you. And doing that and having it sell well tells me that they're going to take the lessons from Oblivion and apply it to their next game.
Over 4 million players in the first week, which is ridiculous.
So that's nice.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that.
There's
want to get my indie cred up real quick. There is a game out that I want to play. It's like 250 pennies, $2.50. It's called Many Nights a Whisper. Have you heard about that game?
What? You know I have.
Have you heard about that game?
You know I have not
So
heard
that's
of that game.
Many Nights a Whisper. And it's from the guys who made Red Strings Club. Have you heard about that game?
No.
So this game is about a guy who has a week to practice this slingshot shot to light a fire at this big sconce or something they call it. And to light that, he's got one shot at it. And it's very far away, and you got to practice for a week to try and get that shot to see if he can land it. That sounds like a very fun game to me. You just sit there and you practice.
It?
Well, you know, you go around, talk to people in town, you practice your shot wherever you can, and the day finally comes and you got to line up and you get that one shot. You got to try and make it in that one time. That sounds very fun to me.
And this costs $2.50.
About $2.50. Yeah.
I mean, I guess so. Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
That's about that.
It sounds great. And it's made from people that made really good games already.
Gotta love the indie cred, Jake. You got to keep it up.
Yeah.
But the community around this, I've slipped into the subreddit on this, and I've been getting it popping up in my feed for my Instagram reels. And there are a lot of people that are like, you know how lockpicking sucks? You know how in the old game there was an exploit where you could just jab a button and increase your lockpicking skills? It still works.
Yeah.
And I did that. Now I'm like level 80 lockpicking. I'm like, okay, this isn't as big of a pain in the ass as it was before.
Yeah.
And I was telling you, when you jump, you can kind of direct yourself midair, which another studio that was remaking a game would probably be like, you know, this isn't physically accurate. You can't do that. They'd install some kind of janky ragdoll physics engine, and it wouldn't be the same as the game. So people are really liking this as a remake. I think it bodes well for doing a remaster that's not an overhaul like your Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4.
Those are remakes, you know, from the ground up.
So I'm saying this isn't just
this as a remaster. It's something that it's a step in the better direction, I would say.
I agree.
There's a really good video from Jacob Geller about the guy who's remastering Resident Evil 4 by himself.
Is that the digging the hole one, the new one?
No. This is an older video.
Okay.
But it's because the kid, I call him a kid, I have no idea how old he is, but he played Resident Evil 4 remaster that's like from the GameCube up to like the PlayStation 4, and he saw blurry textures, and he was like, this isn't really a good remaster.
Yeah, I think you remember
couldn't do it.
Mentioning this.
So he's like, he traveled to the destinations where they got the photos that they use for the textures to get high-res photos for himself to put into the game.
Beautiful.
And he's going through it and meticulously putting in detail to it. And if you didn't know about it, you wouldn't have seen a difference, you know? And that's the type of stuff that I like a lot. That's restoration. That's archival. That's the type of approach that I want, which is like, let's just make it as pretty as we can, because they didn't want blurry textures, so let's make them high def textures. This game is an overhaul in graphics, so like I like the bloom and stuff. I'm sorry it's not that pretty, but to me it is very pretty.
What do you mean by the bloom?
Bloom was something that quote unquote plagued the 360 generation. It's like J.J. Abrams movies have a lot of lens flares in them.
Gotcha.
They put those in games a lot back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And people were like, this is just too much. It washes out all the color. It really does. But it gave Cyrodiil this very heavenly look to it that I really enjoyed.
Idyllic.
I love the look of the new one, but I want people to experience and play the original look as well. I think that's an important factor of what that game was as well.
I mean, your guy, it was Noodle that did the Halo remastered videos. And that really, I haven't seen many negative things about this. I really wish a remaster we played 2 years ago or whenever it came out, the Red Dead Redemption, the first one, that was just pretty much an upcycle of the
they just
previous
put
port.
it to 60 frames per second.
But all the quality of life stuff that made Red Dead Redemption 2 a more fun game to play wasn't really in that game.
Yeah.
So if they had remade Red Dead Redemption 1 like this, when I could see, side by side or top and bottom like you see on Instagram Reels, we're like, this is this on original Oblivion. This is it on the new one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, wow, that looks so much better. Yeah. I wish they had done that with Red Dead 1 as well.
I can see
specifically Undead Nightmare more than Red Dead 1 because Undead Nightmare is really when you could see the drop off just because you get the big mobs of zombies and crap like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Still holding out for a Red Dead Redemption 2 version of Undead Nightmare. It'll never happen.
No.
But God, would it be fun.
That game is gone to them.
So sad. Put out to pasture. Just like Arthur Morgan. All right. Let's talk about, tell me about a gentleman named Mark Kerr.
Right. Because it was a trailer that we both watched. Called The Smashing Machine.
Yes.
Right? And it's a...
starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Emily Blunt.
Starring Dwayne "Rock" Johnson. So, MMA, I like it. I don't really follow it that much, but Mark Kerr is a big character, and especially in the early MMA, back when it was very, very brutal.
When it was Wild West.
Mark Kerr is a big, 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 big man. And he's also just... he's very well spoken and he's very interesting to talk to. And he's had a very wild life. And for them to make a movie about him is a great move. Very true. So to get Dwayne "Rock" Johnson to play him is worrying to me because The Rock can't really act.
So that's kind of what I mentioned this to you when I saw, and the trailer's out. The trailer looks like a good movie. It's in A24. It's Benny Safdie that's doing it.
Yeah.
Big indie director, and The Rock is wearing prosthetics on his face. And then I look at a picture of Mark Kerr, and it's pretty good.
Like Mark
the
Kerr.
prosthetics look good. The obvious comparison it would be to a movie that we watched on the show, The Iron Claw.
Love that movie.
Where Zac Efron's kind of doing the same thing. Only it seems like from my
but Zac Efron comes from the ability to act is why he was able to get this movie.
Well, the ability to,
I guess, act in wrestling is
hopefully that also just be really in shape and shit like that.
I'm up for it because if it was any other MMA, well, I'd say that, but I couldn't really. It being Mark Kerr has my interest more than Rock Johnson being in it.
So, and it's something I've thought about for a while. Is Dwayne Johnson's trying to have his credibility as an actor. Like, I think when you're an actor and you've been in movies for so long, you get to that age where you're like, I want to do...
I think he's always wanted
a real movie. Well, I mean, and then you find that project where you're like, this fits. Like, this
he wanted it to be Black Adam. Yeah.
God, that movie wasn't good. Speaking of Benny Safdie, this was when Benny Safdie did Uncut Gems. That's when people were like, Adam Sandler's he had done good movies beforehand, like
Punch Drunk Love,
and Spanglish and stuff like that. He's always been a good actor, but when
he is a good actor, oh yeah.
But when Uncut Gems came out, that's when people were like, he should be nominated for an Oscar. Yeah. Like, he's crazy good, and I think
Sandman should have won an award for that.
Sandman should have. Happy Gilmore 2 comes out next month.
Isn't that weird?
I want to see it.
Man, that's weird.
But yeah, I think that's what The Rock's angling for with this. And I don't think he would be promoting it as much if he wasn't trying to thread that needle. And I hope it works out for him. I would love for it to be like
it to hell. Again, I'm going to bring up Black Adam.
Yeah.
He was like, if we do this right, this is going to be the best. This is going to be the movie of my career. Also, I remember hearing, I don't know if this is just hearsay or if this is just false right out, but apparently, like, in his contract, it says that he can't play a losing character.
So that was a rumor when he started doing the Fast and the Furious movies.
Okay.
It's like he and Vin Diesel had like clauses in their fight scenes where it was broken down in their contract to literally how many times you could get hit in a punch and whether or not you could lose a fight.
Yeah.
Like, it was something, and this is all alleged, like you said, rumors that Vin Diesel couldn't be seen getting knocked down by The Rock. The Rock couldn't be seen doing this. And then their fight scene ends with basically there's an explosion. They both get blown away, and then they just go their separate ways. And I don't know if that's true. I feel like maybe when you're talking about Black Adam, and I give Dwayne Johnson the most courteous reading on most of his things because I think genuinely he's a good dude, except for remaking Moana in live action. Why are you doing that? Moana was perfect. But I feel like with the Black Adam stuff, that movie was more about style over substance, where I think he was trying to, like, him and WB were trying to force it, be like, no, let's make this happen. Let's forget about Ben Affleck Batman. Let's forget about The Flash. Let's make this the movie, and tried to push it, and it didn't work. You're pushing a rope uphill. It's not going to happen. But I feel like this is his humble thing where he's like, I'm going to put in the work, make this very small in scale movie, and try to do it. It's like fucking, what's his name that did The Wrestler? Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, but Mickey Rourke, again, is a
actor.
He's a good actor.
And The Rock's he's not a terrible actor.
We saw Skyscraper, right?
Jumanji 2, when he played someone that wasn't The Rock.
When he's doing something schlocky, he's fun. He can do, a
one-legged
weird
guy jumping through a skyscraper.
Yeah,
it's fun.
That was a fun movie.
Yeah.
We had a good time watching that. He doesn't strike me as somebody that can take the role in a direction that is serious.
We'll see, because Emily Blunt plays his wife, and you see in the trailer, it's like, oh, this guy gets addicted to pain pills and like goes through some shit.
Yeah, Mark Kerr went through it, buddy.
That
guy, he is. The thing that's interesting about him is that he can tell you verbosely what his life was like.
Yeah.
He should. I wonder if he did write a book about his life, but he's just a very interesting
he did,
guy.
And I think it's called The Smashing Machine.
And he is just he puts it in words better than anybody else could.
Right.
The experience of MMA, especially early MMA.
Yeah.
And
there was a documentary about him in 2002. Oh shit, that was a long time ago, that documentary.
That dude is he's one interesting fella.
Yeah.
So like that's definitely what's bringing it for me is just how cool Mark Kerr is. Mark Kerr is a cool dude.
I know nothing about him, but this is definitely, just seeing this trailer and the fact that you're interested into it, put it on my radar for one of the most anticipated movies of this year.
Oh yeah.
Just because I'm like, I want to see Fantastic Four. I want to see Superman for all those reasons.
Yeah, I want to see Superman.
But this is one of those things where I'm like, I want to see what this movie actually is. Like, if they can fucking land this plane.
It's got enough curiosity for me to go and see it. That's for sure.
And speaking of curiosity to get me to go see it, you watched another trailer for the new Zach Cregger movie.
Yeah.
Zach Cregger is
Kids.
Whitest Kids You Know, Miss March, and then also Barbarian was kind of his breakout as a horror guy.
Yeah. Well, it's just a director.
I think he directed Miss March as well.
Oh,
when him and Trevor Moore took that, they kind of took that movie over, and I'm pretty sure he directed. And he directed a lot of Whitest Kids stuff too. I think Civil War on Drugs was mostly him.
Oh, him and
Trevor and Sam were in it mostly.
Yeah.
So I think Zach directed that. Regardless, he's kind of just also doing the Jordan Peele thing, where he's like, I'm very funny.
Did you see that?
But I can also do horror pretty well.
Like there was a bidding war for the movie
for weapons.
Yeah.
No.
And Jordan Peele's manager lost it, and then Jordan Peele fired that guy.
Good.
Isn't that interesting? It makes it sound like this is going to be a great movie.
Jordan Peele's got a movie coming out, or his production company has him coming out as well, where it's like crazy football. That looks awesome as well. Mm-hmm. And we talked about this on this show. There's a fine line between horror and comedy, where if you know how to do one really well, you're kind of good at the other thing too.
I don't think it's a fine line. I think it's a very blurry line.
Okay, it's a small border. I should have said, not a fine line. It's a small border between the two.
Yes,
because you're just
if you can do horror, you can do comedy because you understand timing, you understand what to reveal to people to
subverting
get them enticed.
Expectations.
Yeah, and then you subvert the expectations, and you either make them go or they go ha ha ha.
So I have not seen Barbarian, but I'm curious about weapons.
Yeah, I'm into
weapons.
Yeah, I love Barbarian. Barbarian's a great movie.
You've kind of turned me around on horror.
You'll love Barbarian. You should watch that movie.
Yeah, he kills Justin Long.
You have to watch it.
I love a movie where Justin Long dies. That's why I like Tusk.
You're going to love a movie because you're going to see Justin Long and you're going to be like, oh, right, he's great. He does a great job being very fun and interesting.
He's great in Tusk.
And then you're going to...
say Tusk is a good movie.
It's not a good movie at all.
Tusk
it's not even close to being a good movie.
It's not Kevin Smith's best. That's a good example. Like Kevin Smith tried to do the horror movie thing. One of them very, very good.
Red State is a good movie.
Red State is a great movie.
Yeah.
Probably in the top 5 Kevin Smith movies. Speaking of which, Dogma back in theaters this month.
Yeah, I did see that was happening.
You interested?
Yeah, a little bit.
I never saw it on the big screen. I was too young.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I really like Dogma a whole lot.
It's good.
It could be fun.
If it had come out in
April.
In April.
My friends were celebrating all Affleck April. Dude.
Your friends are my friends now.
Yeah, right?
That's
Isn't that
awesome.
cool?
Yeah.
They watched an Affleck, so they were like, hey, we'll tell Jake, tell him, hey.
The Accountant 2 is great.
Accountant 2 was much better than it had any right to be.
That's true. What else were... Oh, yeah, this. So...
Yeah, you wanted to talk about these
Sugar.
2
Now...
bags of dark brown sugar.
You're wrong. These are not 2 bags of dark brown sugar. I have said, and I have made an apology. I have to make a rare apology. There are few things that I stand by. As products... Liquid Death I've stood by, even though in their flavored now, they put some stevia in there. Not a huge fan of that, but I'll go with it. The Milwaukee Fastback utility knife, one of the best utility knives on the market. You're never going to find one better. I think mine's sitting right over there. It's great. And Domino Dark Brown Sugar. So I picked up Domino Dark Brown Sugar, made my cookies with it, which is it's an important part of the process is the dark brown sugar.
It's one of the browns of double brown.
Exactly. So... I noticed something was off because I've got a very specific palate and I didn't want to say anything. I mean, they still tasted fine, but it wasn't what it's supposed to be.
Okay.
And then I went and bought more brown sugar and I noticed there's a difference. So this bag says Domino Dark Brown Sugar. This bag says Domino Dark Brown Sugar.
Yeah.
Read the ingredients to that.
Out loud?
Yes.
Brown cane sugar.
As it should be, as God intended.
Yeah.
Now, read the ingredients to this one.
We got here cane sugar molasses.
What the fuck?
You are very right.
Yes.
Yeah, because you said that's the biggest difference between light
brown sugar and dark brown sugar.
And dark brown sugar.
And look at the colors. Look at the colors, Jacob.
Yes, the colors I could see are different, but I would have put that up to maybe it's been in the sun too long.
Nope.
Now
I just because I grabbed like 5 of these guys off the shelf altogether, so I figured that's just the color of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, we have to pay attention to the ingredients.
This is, and I'll say this: I don't like calling out companies on this platform. I've sent 2 emails to Domino Sugar with no reply to be like, "Is this the thing?" Like, I don't like Xbox is costing more money. If I have to go to someone else to get my good sugar, like,
what are you gonna do? Like, did you check the date?
No,
of production?
Okay. Look at the expiration date. This one is April of 2027. That one's April 2027.
Yeah.
So they
might have
around the same time.
Might have been a new thing.
I don't know, man.
You just have to be extra careful now.
But see, I wasn't crazy.
You were acting crazy. Let's say that.
Well, because I had to check it so many times. I'm like, no. And then I was like going through. I'm like, did they just put it in the wrong bag? And I'm like, no, they didn't, because it says dark brown sugar here, and then it says the ingredients are here.
Yeah.
So they printed out bags that say dark brown sugar.
Yeah.
Because like this comes down a production line like this is one piece, and they fill it and they seal it.
Yeah.
So someone put into the fucking machine, print out a label that says dark brown sugar, but it has molasses in it because it's just cane sugar. They separate it and they recombine it with molasses. It's the farm raised salmon of brown sugar. And there's a time and place for light brown sugar. If you're making a caramel sauce, light brown sugar is good because the molasses acts as like a good binding agent and helps like a caramel sauce not separate as much.
It's so funny because this is very interesting things that you were saying, but you have such vitriol in your voice about it.
About sugar.
Well, it's just like you're giving me facts, like baking facts.
Objective.
But there's a tinge of anger in it because you're like, there's a time and a place for light brown sugar.
Right.
You can make a great caramel olives with this, but I am still mad if you just want to like heat it up to it.
And here's the other thing. No one else was able to taste the difference. It was literally just me.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 people would not know the difference in taste between dark brown sugar and light brown sugar.
Yeah, that's an interesting
They have a golden sugar too? What the fuck are they trying to do over there in Domino?
Maybe you like a golden sugar.
I don't know. I'm just saying I don't like to this is more of a
It's very true that you rely on this for your business. You wanted that product for its name and they changed it.
There's when you get to our level of fame, Jacob, there's a certain level of responsibility you need to take for the trust people bestow upon you. So I will say this. I will say this. I am not saying not to buy Domino Dark Brown Sugar. I am saying check the ingredients.
Yeah.
If it says cane sugar and molasses, do with it what you will.
Yeah.
That is not dark brown sugar.
It's so interesting that they did that, though.
Why would they do that?
Yeah. You already have light brown sugar.
Right. That's what light brown sugar is. It's cane sugar and molasses.
That's so interesting.
Who,
You're gonna have to make your own dark brown sugar now.
is it real? You piss on my leg and tell me it's raining situation.
Yeah.
You just put it in a bag that says dark brown sugar. I'm like, you can go darker.
Yeah.
The proof's in the pudding.
Yeah.
And
You
this
could
would make
definitely tell us
a good pudding as well. But it's not what I want. So that's my rant.
There you go.
I'm being very socially responsible. Let's talk about Saturday night.
You sure you don't want to calm down a little bit?
No, I'm glad that I needed to get that out of him because everyone else that I've talked to about it, they're like, well, can't you just use light brown sugar? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
I get that part, 100%. Me and you watch way too many cooks
Yeah.
at their high level that settle for nothing but the best. And when they do eventually settle for the worst, literally not only do restaurants shutter their doors, but your reputation is down the tubes. You know, there's a thing about cooking, a thing about baking. You cannot compromise on a lot of it.
I almost wanted to go on social media and make like one of those weird hostage looking apology videos and be like, my actions they've hurt people. If you did not get as rich of a flavor profile in my baked goods that you're used, and the cookies were still good. It's not like I was selling hockey pucks or anything like that. They were still fine. Everyone still loved them.
Right. Just a different flavor profile, like you said. But there's a flavor profile that you are working on.
It was the same flavor profile. It just wasn't as well developed. It was
Okay.
not as layered as I'd like it
There
to
you
be.
go.
Which, by the way, I have cookie butter upstairs for you to try.
Okay.
Pretty
down.
good.
Cookie butter,
It's
huh?
dope.
I already ate a huge
You did already
piece
have a piece of coconut
cake.
So let's talk about Saturday night.
Well,
Saturday night film.
no, not the day, silly. The movie.
Wouldn't that be weird? This comes out on a Friday. So Saturday night, directed by Jason Reitman, written by Jason Reitman and Gil Keenan. This is set in October of 1975, the first broadcast of Saturday Night Live. Set in real time.
Yeah.
So the movie takes place, it's an hour and a half, and it takes place, the hour and a half starts at 10 o'clock, show goes live at 11:30. So I wanted you get your feeling on this because this movie does a lot of things that I know you hate,
Yeah.
but it does a lot of things that I know you like. Things that I know you hate that are prevalent in this movie. Any kind of biopic where you're like, and that's how he got his hat.
Yeah.
You really hate that.
It's dumb.
You don't like people introducing themselves.
Did they ever find out how Indiana Jones got his hat? I bet you it's in there. Bet you young Indiana Jones has it.
Yeah. Well, no, it's in Last Crusade.
Oh,
remember the guy just comes and
right on the train,
puts it on his head.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a fine one, though.
It's a fine one. Regardless, we found out Han Solo got his gun too.
And how fast he went, and he had to do those parsecs.
Got to get those parsecs.
He had to do the parsecs.
So I know you hate that. I know you're not a big fan of biopics that are too shoehorny and too self-aggrandizing.
Yeah.
What made this one different, I think, is by and large, no real super famous people trying to play. Like, this isn't an Austin Butler playing Elvis situation.
Yeah.
It's not a Timothy Chalamet playing Bob Dylan situation.
Yeah.
Rachel Sennett's probably the biggest name in this.
J.K. Simmons.
Oh, yeah, J.K., but he's not a main person.
I hear you.
Rachel Sennett, that plays Rosie Schuster, Lorne Michaels' wife. Kid Gabrielle LaBelle that plays Lorne Michaels. I think he's great. And then Nicholas Braun, from who I only know as Cousin Greg from Succession, he does double duty as Andy Kaufman and Jim Henson. I think he's great as both of those. And then Finn Wolfhard's just outside.
Yeah. Finn Wolfhard's here.
So I think that's good. I think a lot of the impressions are really good. And what I know you like is I think you would like the style of filmmaking. I think the conceit of it's pretty good, where it's like, this is what happens right before we air.
Yeah.
And the frantic pace, it reminded me a lot of The Holdovers, the way it's shot. Like The Holdovers being shot in the 70s and looks like it's from the 70s. This kind of has that same grain over the filmmaking. And a lot of those weird, I don't know the technical term for it, but when they're moving from one person to another person, it has that little blur instead of just a cut. That's a very 1970s thing where it looks like you're just
A pan.
but it's like a quick thing, like whew, and it just looks like the camera's moving like that instead of just cutting back and forth. I think it's well shot. I think it's very funny. I think it does a lot of gives Saturday Night Live its feathers, which is the other thing. I don't think. Well, I know this for a fact. You don't like Saturday Night Live as much as I do.
Yeah,
I watch it every week.
That's
for me,
wild.
it's just it's a thing like the news. It's on, and you watch it, and you're just like, okay, this is what's going on in whatever quote unquote mainstream comedy is.
I was listening to
Walter Goggins is doing it in 2 weeks.
I was listening to Doughboys today.
Yeah.
And they have a writer from SNL in there.
Which one?
Can't remember his name off the top of my head. But this thing was, he said, if I'm ever writing a scene and I feel like I'm getting off of being funny, that's when I just type in. And Keenan enters.
Yeah.
He's like, whatever. Keenan can make any scene much funnier.
Yeah, he's been on the show for like 20 years.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, he was Mighty Ducks too. He was Heavyweights, like Keenan and Kel, to say nothing of that. He's been around forever. But I really like this movie. I thought Corey Michael Smith, the guy that plays Chevy Chase, I know him best as he was the Riddler in Gotham.
That's what they were. That's
a
what
show
I was
that
told.
I like a lot more than most other people that like that show. Like I had fun with
everybody
Gotham.
that I've told that I've watched this movie told me that fact.
Yeah.
And they also
Said he's really good.
They said, oh, he's the Riddler in the series Gotham. He's like, don't watch the series Gotham.
I like. We
showed me an episode or two.
We recorded
way back when.
we recorded audio for a video that I was going to make, but then the audio got ruined, so I never did it. Where we were talking, it was when the Penguin came out. We were talking about the best versions of each Batman villain.
Oh yeah,
in live action or whatever. Mm-hmm. And Corey Michael Smith as the Riddler
was your favorite.
That's my favorite Riddler. He's just great.
David Pierce.
He's weird and I don't know. He's just fun, and he's a great Chevy Chase in this too. I like the characterization of Chevy Chase as a dickhead. Famously now, Chevy Chase is a dickhead and kind of a racist, if I remember correctly.
I can't remember.
I feel like Donald Glover said he was a racist, and
his character was.
Yeah, but I feel like that went off the screen too in Community. But regardless, if he's not, and I really like the John Belushi. Lamorne Morris, who plays Garrett Morris, is great. Lamorne Morris, people probably best know as Winston on The New Girl. Yeah, he's fantastic. Ella Hunt plays Gilda Radner. Emily Farron plays Lorraine Newman. And Kim Matula plays Jane Curtin to kind of finish it all out. And what other famous people do I want to talk about? George Carlin's in this. Like I said, Jim Henson and Andy Kaufman are in this as well. J.K. Simmons plays Milton Berle. And then, like another movie that you had me watch when you made me watch Crybaby, random Willem Dafoe just popping up in this movie. And Willem Dafoe's great in this movie too as a TV exec. So
Willem Dafoe has to be the cheapest, best actor ever.
Yeah, I feel like they just send him like an email and then he's just like, all right, yeah, I'll show up and do that.
He's like, oh, it's in the same place where I am?
Yeah.
I'll do it, and I will be the best actor in it, of course.
I'm in town. Yeah. And he's great in this movie too. So
yeah,
what'd you think of Saturday Night?
It was fine.
You get it too?
It was fine.
Yeah.
It was. This movie was set up to be a 1 for me. This is what I'll say.
I was thinking you were between 1 and 2.
You call it self-aggrandizing. I call it, just smelling your own fart. And this movie does it the entire damn time. If it wasn't for Lorne Michaels, we wouldn't have had Andy Kaufman. Did you know that?
Yeah.
It's a lot of that stuff.
He pulls him out of a cab.
And it's like, that stuff is just like grown worthy to me. It's like,
there's a guy that plays Billy Crystal too, and he has a really good Billy Crystal voice.
The guy who does Chevy Chase does an amazing Chevy Chase. There's an amazing Dan Aykroyd. There's an amazing John Belushi. There's an amazing Billy Crystal. All these people are wonderful talents, and it was very fun to see them do those things. The biggest hurdle that this movie had to get over was its own legacy, and it failed at that big time. So much of it was, we said F you to the censors, and not only do we say F you, we had a big grandiose speech where we lit it on fire and threw it out the window, and she was like, oh my heavens. And it's like, I doubt it happened that way, and that's fine. It's fine. I get it. It's fun, and we're making a fun movie, but Dan Aykroyd is a talent, And Chevy Chase is a talent.
He's a crazy person.
Billy
too.
Crystal is a talent. John Belushi is a talent. Andy Kaufman is a talent. Jim Henson is a talent. These
Gilda
people,
Radner, Jane Curtin, they're all
they would
fantastic.
all have, catapulted into stardom eventually. I'm sure. Lorne Michaels, the only thing he did was make a show.
See,
and there was like, we wouldn't have had it without Lorne Michaels.
I'm going to push back on that because especially people like Dan Aykroyd and something they talk about in this movie, like Dan Aykroyd came out of Canada with Lorne Michaels. They're like, and Lorne Michaels was the one that took all these really talented people from Canada.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, we're going to put it in the United States. And I think if Lorne Michaels didn't start bringing that, and also bringing improvisers like bringing Belushi from Chicago, like Second City people, Groundlings people, if he wasn't the person that found, he's like, he's not a superhero, but he's a Nick Fury type. He's assembling the Avengers. And he's like, this is what I'm going to do.
He's an avenue for talent to grow.
Yeah, he's an aggregator.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not something that I think is so romantic as like John Belushi's story. You know what I mean?
Where you're just making a John Belushi.
Yeah. I like that this movie is just the hour and a half before. Mm-hmm. It gives it a much more, it gives it a broader tone to play with, where it's more, this is chaos and this is how Lorne Michaels handles it.
Which is also how the show is run. Like the show's run week to week. It doesn't have the sketches that go on the show are written that week, where I think that's what plays into this so well. It wouldn't have been great if it was, I wouldn't have liked this movie, I don't think, if it was the Lorne Michaels story.
Yes.
Where it's like showing him and now he's at the 50th anniversary and Dave Grohl's there and yada, yada, yada.
Hey, what do you want to call this show, Lorne?
He's friends with John Hamm and
I don't know.
all this bullshit.
I got to get out of here. I got to be back home Saturday night. Lorne, say that again.
Yeah, there's none of that.
There's none of that stuff going on.
There's like Garrett Morris is doing. And John Baptiste is in this movie too. Like
the guy Spaghetti from what's that show?
From Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley.
Yeah,
he was great.
He
as
pops
well.
up too.
He's in there for a few minutes, and so same with Raymond's brother and
Brad Garrett.
It's great. It's a great little moment.
I really liked Nicholas Braun as Jim Henson.
Sure.
Where Jim Henson's just the sweetest man in the world.
Yeah.
And he's just walking around with big Muppets.
Yeah.
Funny thing about that is reading the trivia. So we already talked about him in the show. Benny Safdie was supposed to be Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
But then he dropped out. And Nicholas Braun was just supposed to be Jim Henson.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, hey, can you do this too? Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll be Andy Kaufman.
Man,
but you get the Andy Kaufman, like there's no record that in this he does his famous Mighty Mouse routine.
Yes.
Because the censors are like,
and it's not Lorne Michaels saying that he discovered Andy Kaufman. Andy Kaufman was already a presence by this time.
But he was on that first episode.
But he was on it.
Carlin too. It's
Same thing with Carlin.
Yeah.
Man, that part where he had Lockjaw and the person that they call in to help with that is Dan Aykroyd. And it's Dan Aykroyding the hell out of this situation. It's very funny.
Everyone really liked cocaine.
Yeah. It's great.
In the 70s, it was probably better than it is now.
This movie did get a lot of laughs out of me, which I thought was fun. It's a fun movie. Doing it as the 90 minutes before the first episode is the best way to tell this story.
Yeah.
And I loved it. So I would say that it's a high 2. It's a 2.
A high 2?
Yes.
I'll take that.
It's much better. The way I explained it to my friend is it's a movie that sucks its own dick, but it's a good dick. They do it. It's a funny dick.
Yeah.
So
well,
I'm happy.
There was I forget the name of the movie. It's called it's like this, but it's Harvard Lampoon and it's a joke.
That movie is so much better.
Well,
the story of the writer from National Lampoon,
increasingly futile gesture or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I was going to recommend that movie to you.
I've seen it. Yeah.
It's Joel McHale as Chevy Chase in that movie.
It's good.
That movie is wonderful, and it's a movie. I was hoping that this would be the direction that these types of biopics go.
Yeah.
Where like Weird, where it's more
Weird
embellishing, and it's more you're telling the story of the people, but you're doing it in a fun, dramatic way. Just realizing that you are lying a little bit, so why not just lie a lot a bit?
Which is what I think this kind of reins it in, because you don't example, you see the guy that's Al Franken.
Yeah. He just looks like Al Franken. That's how you know it's him.
He looks like Al Franken. And but they have the thing where it's like, oh, Dan's going to be Julia Child, and they cut his finger off and everything like that. That's not in the first episode, so they kind of shoehorn that in. Garrett Morris singing his song about going to get a shotgun and kill all the whiteys I see.
Yeah.
That's not in the first episode, but they kind of worked it. They like kind of backwards engineered.
Well, there's a lot of
would
stuff.
have been the Johnny Cash montage of him like going from city to city, and they condensed all that into the 90 minutes. So I thought it was a fun way to do a behind the scenes biopic-y movie.
Yeah, that was a great part.
Kind of unique. And
Give me a shotgun, kill all the whiteys I see.
It's hilarious.
And then like all of the executives are right there.
Right.
They're like, when did you guys get here? It's like, we heard enough. I was like, that's a very funny song for I think those people to hear.
I think every one of the characters gets enough time to shine where it's not like...
Almost, I would agree with that. Almost.
Well, like John Belushi in a Bumblebee outfit skating at 30 Rock. That's just like that's a funny scene.
Yeah, it's a good scene.
Yeah.
The guy that plays John Belushi is very good.
Matt Wood, I think,
at this.
I'll take it too on this. I had a couple little fun things I wanted to add. J.K. Simmons as Milton Berle
Steals a show as soon as he arrives.
pulls out his dick.
Yeah.
Great.
Steals a show.
Yeah.
Just so much fun.
Really mean to Chevy Chase.
Really mean to Chevy Chase. Chevy Chase, I would say, steals the show for me. That guy got the mannerisms down. When he trips over the trash can.
First time you
and
see him,
just,
the big pratfall.
he puts his hands up and slides across. I was like, that's exactly what Chevy Chase would do. He tries to make it look cool when he does something that's terrible.
Yeah.
So stupid. And he's like,
Classic
good job.
Chase. Yeah.
Yeah. Good job.
The other fun little thing from the IMDb trivia that I found is, so there's a whole thing with an art director. The art director's real name is Akira Yoshimura, and he's planting bricks on the stage because he's like, I want this to be like this. And there's an offhand comment where one of the other stagehands, who's like a union guy that's not really working, says that you're going to be gone in 2 weeks. He's the only person that's still on the show. He never left.
Oh, I
Even
see.
Lorne Michaels took time off. So that was like kind of an in-joke that he's the only person that was there the
day
whole
one.
time. Because like Lorne Michaels took time off in the 80s when he wasn't a part of it, and then he came back. But it's just a fun little thing. So yeah, Saturday night, we watched it on Prime.
Yes.
It's available. I like it. Jake,
I like it too.
Jake kind of likes it.
It's I want Lauren to realize that he is the establishment now.
Who do you think's going to take over when he's gone?
That's somebody that we don't know, and that's what I want. I want somebody that we don't know.
I think the odds are Keenan or Tina Fey.
I want it to be a no-name up-and-comer that's scary.
I don't think
to everybody.
But no, I'm not talking like being the new head writer to like run the show.
To run the show? Oh, I don't care.
I think it's going to be Keenan or Tina Fey. Tina Fey, I think, can do it.
Give it to Triple H. He's doing really well with WWE.
Everything's going great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Seth Meyers could do it too.
I don't know.
He was a head writer for a while.
I want the next level of comedy to start, and that starts with Lorne going away.
Well, and something that this rings hollow a little bit to you and I's generation is when they're talking about the whole disruption aspect of Saturday Night Live. It's like, oh, this is going to be new, and we're pushing boundaries. When we grew up, Saturday Night Live was the institution.
That's what I'm saying. It's
like, oh yeah, the thing that has like every comedic actor in the 90s that started there.
The movie that I asked you to watch, The People's Joker, is about Vera's opportunity to be in Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
And it just, how much it's still pushes away certain types of people, even though they're comedy, and then people enjoy that comedy as well. We're at that moment where Lorne Michaels thinks he knows comedy better than anybody else, and that his stamp of approval means a lot to people, when I think it's time to go away.
See, it's
comedy
funny.
Evolves. Comedy doesn't need
It's-
ushering in.
I don't need to stand up for Lorne Michaels, but just like from what I've heard from a lot of like one of my favorite podcasts is the Lonely Island and Seth Meyers podcast. And it definitely feels like in the past 15 years, especially since like the Lonely Island and the internet came out, Lorne has kind of taken more of a backseat. He's like, all right, I've kind of been
And I'm not saying that he doesn't see what's funny.
Yeah.
But these are still, like Lonely Island, it's great that he, produced that stuff.
Yeah.
What I want is stuff that's so changing,
the man
Saturday Night Live.
MacGruber.
Yeah. I want stuff that's so changing like Saturday Night Live was to be ushered in now.
That's just the internet now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have to find that. It's out there. And it's in internet
I will.
And I don't know how we find it, but that's the point. Somebody has found it, and somebody needs that opportunity that Lauren got. And then we will have something that we all talk about that's on the internet.
Well, don't you think that's just kind of decentralized the whole way now? Because like it pops up and you get your random person that becomes kind of, famous on the internet.
Yeah.
Like there's a guy, Trevor Wallace, he's a comedian. He does like sketches on Instagram and TikTok and shit.
Yeah.
He's too dirty for Saturday Night Live, but very funny. And then you have like some comedians that go back and host Saturday Night Live that are traditional stand-ups the way George Carlin was, that do well on the show. Your Bill Burrs, more recently Nate Bargatze, Shane Gillis, guys like that. Mm-hmm. And I think when the show gets back to its roots and it's not a promotional platform, which I think it turned into a little bit, where it's like, hey, Paris Hilton's hosting.
Yeah. That stuff sucks.
Who gives a shit? But like I mentioned coming up, Walton Goggins is hosting one episode. Fuck yeah. I want to see Walton Goggins do everything.
Yeah, sure.
He's one of the most talented dudes. Do you watch Gemstones?
No.
Final episode's this Sunday.
I didn't know that they had one more season. I've seen 3 seasons.
Oh yeah, 4th one ends this Sunday.
But
got my cardboard cutout of Uncle Baby Billy.
I hear it's great.
It's fantastic.
That's good news because the first 3 seasons were amazing.
It's so good. John Goodman's so good. Saturday Night Live, he's one of the top hosts is John Goodman. Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about Feist.
Feist. Uh-huh.
Why?
Easy.
Easy
why?
Easy listening?
Yeah, it's easy listening. I think it's really good.
Yeah.
But we were watching Accountant 2.
We were.
And the first scene that's setting up with J.K. Simmons, again, another J.K. Simmons, the whole setup to his scene, the music is Sea Lion, a cover of Sea Lion from The Reminder. So while I'm watching the scene and listening, I'm waiting for that crescendo that happens in Sea Lion because I was like, that's going to be a really cool scene. And then it doesn't happen. And then I just thought about that, like basically for the rest of the movie. And I was thinking, I listened to The Reminder a lot when it came out. It was one of those things where 1, 2, 3, 4, it was overplayed when we were young.
Yeah.
Oh, we heard it all the time.
It's like the what's a 1, 2, 3 take it. Here go. It's once it gets an iPod commercial. It's
video commercial, I believe. And I was tired of that song, but my sister was watching TV and a music video for Feist's "I Feel It All" was out, and I watched that and I was like, this song is great. And then I had the opportunity to get the album that I was on. And so I did. I got it at Borders, and I listened to it, and I was like...
I miss Borders book.
Me too, man. And I listened to it, and I was like, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I didn't listen to it just once. I listened to it all the time. I usually used it to fall asleep. And when I heard Sea Lion and The Accountant, that's when I was like, I got to listen to The Reminder again. It's been years. So I did. And when I was doing that, I was like... I knew Taylor at this time, but he wasn't listening to this.
No.
Let's make him listen to it now, type of thing.
Huh.
So I gave it to you.
So, yeah, I knew her just from the 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
And
she's got many other CDs.
She does. So she's Canadian, which I didn't know.
Yep.
She definitely, what's her first name? I'm blanking.
Feist.
Leslie Feist. And she, definitely comes from, I would say, the singer-songwriter. She's not quite Adele, but I think that's why I thought she was British, because she was kind of popular around the same time Adele was.
I love her voice.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Very smoky and a broad range.
She reminds me a lot of Australian artist and podcaster named Claire Tonti, and she has a new album it came out like 2 years ago, but that same kind of like acousticy, just really great voice, very what's the word, not ethereal, ephemeral, like there's kind of floating amazing vocals and everything like that.
I agree.
So this for me gets a 2.
Okay.
I will say this, it was one of the things where it's like when it got to 1, 2, 3, 4, I was just like, okay, I know this song. And I was like, I know this song.
Did you listen to the whole thing?
Yeah, but I was like, I don't really like this song. I listened to the whole album a bunch.
I loved 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's okay. So yeah, I listened to it. When did I listen? I listened to it driving. I listened to it playing Oblivion, and I listened to it working in the kitchen. So I listened to the whole album 3 times.
Nice.
Best for working in the kitchen.
Sure.
Not a great driving record. Not a great playing Oblivion record.
I used to listen to it all the time when driving or sleeping. Yeah.
I like something a little faster when I'm driving. And also John Green's new book, Everything is Tuberculosis. That's a really good while I'm driving too. Shout out John Green. So yeah, it's definitely one of those things where I never would have gone back and listened to this album or anything else from her.
Yeah.
I'm happy I did.
Yeah.
It was good.
That's what I'm saying.
So
she's one of my favorites. And I just basically forgot. You know what I mean? I listen to Spotify mostly. I listen to my liked songs. I don't really branch off of that mostly.
Yeah.
So when I heard Sea Lion again, I was like, oh, well, yeah, I love that song. I haven't listened to that song in forever. And then I went back and listened to the whole album again, and I was like, oh, yeah, Brandy Alexander is such a fun, sweet song.
It's probably one of the best songs on this, in my opinion. I Feel It All and Brandy Alexander were probably my 2 favorites.
I Feel It All is great. Brandy Alexander is great.
Can I blow your mind a little bit?
Of course. I wish you'd blow a little something else, right? Up top.
No. So, Sea Lion.
Yeah, I love that song.
It's an adaptation of a Nina Simone song called Sea Lion Woman.
Yeah.
Seeline.
Oh, cool.
Sea Lion Woman.
Yeah.
That's what's in The Accountant too. That's
Oh,
the research
really?
I've been doing since you said this.
Wow. It wasn't a cover?
No, it wasn't a Feist cover. It was a Nina Simone cover. And
Whoa.
Feist did an adaptation of the Nina Simone song.
Whoa.
Blowing your mind right now.
No.
It's like when I found out that they were putting light brown sugar and dark brown sugar bags.
It's
No,
because
I had to pull up like the Accountant 2 soundtrack, and I'm like, I think they're doing the Nina Simone one.
Wow, that's cool as hell.
So that's by Danielle Ponder and Bryce Dessner for Sea Lion Woman.
Whoa.
Bryce Dessner did the music for The Accountant 2. Track 2 on that album is called Find the Accountant. So that's Sea Lion Woman. SEE-LINE.
Dang, bro.
And then it's just one of those kind of like misheard things. So
yeah, I listened to the Feist one first.
It says on the Wikipedia that track 6 of the album Sea Lion is adaptation of a song by singer Nina Simone, the Broadway blues ballads from 1964. Original title Sea Lion Woman, a reference to sea lions, was never intended and refers to the life of an upper-class sex worker.
Nice.
So it's just Feist misheard it and adapted it to Sea Lion.
That's awesome.
Instead of Sea Lion.
I
That's a fun
it.
fact. Learn something new every day on this podcast.
That's great.
Yeah.
Here I was like, I listened to the Feist song first, and I was like, everybody's ripping off the Feist song. Accountant, calm down.
Get your head together. Christian Wolf.
That's awesome.
I had a story about this song. So this is one of 2 songs that people got mad at me for the same reason. I used to host a bar trivia night. You know this. People might not know this. But I had an audio round at the end of every one. And I had one-hit wonders. And, you play a song like
I remember this.
Abercrombie and Fitch Girls or Summer Girls by LFO or like some song like that. Your Dexy's Midnight Runners, everything like that. It's a one-hit wonder. You play the song, you got to name the person. Mm-hmm. And I started doing that in 2009. And I think it was like 2009, 2010. I played 1, 2, 3, 4, and someone got mad at me. It was like, "Hey, she's great."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "All right, prove me wrong." The only other time someone got mad at me is it was like during the time when the song "Somebody That I Used to Know" by Gautier was on.
Yeah.
And I put that on there, and someone got mad at me for the same reason. They're like, "That's not a one-hit wonder. They've only had one song." I'm like, come back to me in 5 years and tell me how great the second Gautier album is. Never came up again.
Man.
I don't know. I felt bad about that after listening to this because it was just one of those memories in my head.
Yeah.
Where I was calling her out for being a one-hit wonder. I was like, oh, no, she had some.
No.
And also, I'm a big fan of Harvey Danger.
Yeah.
People make fun of them for being one-hit wonders.
Musha Boom is another song of hers that is wonderful.
But that wasn't a 1, 2, 3, 4 level success.
Yeah, because it wasn't a commercial that you saw.
Because commercials really did a lot for songs back then.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a 2. It's
Sure.
good. Pop it on. I would say
Everybody listen to Feist.
recommend this one. Here's how I would do it. I would go. She's definitely someone that I found. Put on Feist if you got your Spotify, and put on Feist Radio because it'll give you a lot of good stuff in the wheelhouse that you wouldn't branch out. Put on Sea Lion. Put on I Feel It All. Something like that. If you're feeling in the mood for it, it's great.
Okay.
Great. Had it on the Sonos speaker upstairs while I was making toffee. Good stuff.
Very cool.
Like it. All right. So that is the show for this week. Thank you, everybody, for listening in. Check out our brother Bill at brotherbill.bandcamp.
Yeah, dude. I thought it was.
Nope.
I thought it was me when I was listening to you.
Wasn't you? It was me. My tongue is gone numb from talking too much. It's like that Crazy Frog.
Yeah, oh man, I just watched a documentary about Crazy Frog.
There's a Crazy Frog documentary
on the Crazy Frog.
Is that my
channel.
recommendation for next week?
Guess what you're watching? I'll give you a hint. Bing, bing.
Check out our buddies, Brother Bill, brotherbill.bandcamp.com.
There you go.
They gave us a theme song. If you want to get in touch with the show, you can do so upyouralleypod@gmail.com. Subscribe, tell your friends, do all that good stuff. Let's find out what we're going to be talking about next week. Jake, what do you got for me?
I want you to watch a weird YouTuber that I love.
Yeah, I like all your weird YouTubers. I usually end up liking them.
Her name is Thor High Heels.
Like Thor the person?
Thor, yeah.
High Heels.
All one word. Thor High Heels.
Well, yeah, like a YouTube name.
Yeah, like a YouTube name.
All right, what am I watching from Thor High Heels?
We could watch the Mysterious 2024 games.
Okay. Another gaming YouTuber?
Yes, another gaming YouTuber. But she is very, very... Her aesthetic is amazing.
Okay.
It's one of my favorites. It's like 90s to the max, where it's like almost hard to look at sometimes.
I enjoy that.
But it's very fun. She makes great music as well. But she has a different approach that I really love for video games.
Huh.
The Return of License game is a really good one too. No, let's do Mysterious.
I'll poke around.
Mysterious 2024
I always
games.
just poke around on YouTube
Yes.
recommendations for you.
She does. What I do love is that she does do Game of the Year stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the ones where she does look at games that she loved the most in that year, but she also talks about her personal life.
Oh,
okay. About her transitioning, or how like she lived in squalor as a young kid with an alcoholic father. And it's like amazing how vulnerable she is, but like very confident in it. And it's just like,
I'll check it out.
she's a really cool person.
For sure.
I like her stuff a whole bunch.
I will check out Thor High. Let me go ahead and follow her right now so I don't forget to have to look for it later.
Yeah. Do that.
How many followers she got?
Plenty. 20 million.
Really?
I don't know. No.
She's got 158K. Ain't bad.
Get those numbers up.
That's
Thor.
nothing to shake a stick at.
Terrible numbers.
I have a movie for you.
Oh, no.
Speaking, what made
be
me
a
think
documentary.
of... No, it's not. It's a movie.
Okay.
This made me think of it when you sent me the trailer for Weapons, and then I told you that I have not seen Barbarian. But at the beginning of Weapons, it says from the twisted mind of the person that did Barbarian, and much like Jordan Peele is producing stuff, this is a movie that was produced by Zach Kreger. Came out earlier this year. It's called Companion.
Yeah, I do want to see that.
It's now available to stream on Max.
Sick.
I will say this. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would.
Oh, yeah.
Sophia Thatcher, and one of my favorite first people acting right now is Jack Quaid.
America's Good Boy.
I'll watch Jack Quaid. He could play the shark in Jaws, and I'll go fucking see it. Like
America's Good Boy.
I will say
I want to
this.
see Novocaine. Even though
know.
it's getting not good reviews,
Yeah.
I still like Jack Quaid enough. I want to see it.
I want to go see Thunderbolts.
No.
You don't want to go see Thunderbolts with me.
Sorry.
I got to try to trick the kid into going to see Thunderbolts
Yeah.
with me.
You messed up not making her a nerd. That was your fault.
Dude, I did my best.
Yeah, you did.
I really, really did. I got her Andy Serkis reading The Hobbit. Like, what more do you want? I will say this: if Companion available on Max, the less you know about it going into it, the better of a movie it is. It's definitely one of those things.
I saw the trailer before some movie. I can't remember.
Don't think about it again.
But,
just watch the movie. It's on Max.
It just looked cool.
Yeah, we talked about it. I think when we saw a movie together and it popped up, and we're like, that looks interesting. The trailer's good, and I will say the marketing of it is. It's one of those things that after it came out, the marketing of it got worse because more things came out about the movie.
Yeah.
But it's funny. It's violent. It's just great.
I'm interested.
It's a good movie. So that's Companion, Thor High Heels. We're going to talk about them next week. Jake,
Aw.
thanks for coming over. Love you, buddy.
Love you, man.
Bye.